I don't think anything describes his music better than when Joji says that his music is romantic garbage. It's true, romance is garbage. It's gross, messy, filthy, and toxic. It's the sludge at the bottom of the landfill that for some reason everybody wants. Because as the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. But it also goes without saying, another man's treasure is another man's scraps. This goes as deep as the technical aspects of his production, as Joji is known for using what can be considered scraps, for he uses GarageBand. Not something that most professional musicians are fond of working with. It's limited and amateur compared to the more capable and luxury counterparts like FL Studio or Ableton. However, a good artist can make do with what's available. Again, another man's trash is another man's treasure. Or is it? Not talking about Joji's production, but what we consider a treasure. With romance, we often don't see the lies we tell ourselves. We make ourselves believe that we're holding a treasure, but in actuality, we're holding garbage. We hold that garbage. We eat with that garbage. We sleep with that garbage. We don't realize that the garbage is staining our clothes and leaving a trail of leakage out the door even when we eventually go take it out to the curb. And even on the way back to our house, the smell still lingers and the stains that are left in the carpet will never come out. The red wines from the dinners and the dirt from the flowers that were never given seeps out from the bottom of the bag that has been shredded by broken glass. Love is a messy affair. However, we almost never understand why, as it is implied by Joji in his music. The people involved can somehow make us insecure, rash, immature. In a sense, will he or will she waste a person's time, and how it may leave us empty, bitter, and defensive. Relatability is what separates a good artist from a great artist. And Joji does an amazing job of this by building an audience through his different personas and mediums of entertainment. With Joji, he uses a medium that everyone can recognize and is universal to everyone, and that, in fact, is pain. Across all of his projects, pain is present in the tone of most of Joji's songs. The feeling is very melancholically melodic, with dramatic pianos, synths, and soft strings, along with many other interesting sounds that complement the harmonic vocals that enhance the anguish and pain that is being portrayed. And there is so many ways that the topic of love can be portrayed that Joji explores. For example, in the song Will He from the In Tongues album, it's a somber message to an ex-lover who unfortunately found someone else. One way or another, our person of interest has been driven away. And in the perspective of our character, they're not asking the questions of why, but the question of will he? Will your lover caress you the way that I did? Will he play you the songs just the way that I did? However, our character doesn't want to know and receive an answer that they don't want to hear. They just want to know if you're okay, in hopes that that person of interest is not. However, deep down in situations in which we are longing for someone, we want to know that they're doing worse without us, and hoping that that person is regretting their decision of leaving. But if they are doing better, we don't want to hear it. Joji's portrayed character says, "Will you notice my charm if he slips up one bit?" One of the ironies of still being in love with someone after a breakup is that you want to see that person of interest do their best, but however, if that person is doing better without us or even with someone else, what does that exactly say about you? Most people do not own up and accept their toxic qualities. However, when we ask the questions of will he be as great as I was, we often don't ask ourselves, will he be as toxic as I was? Will he treat you like shit just the way that I did? In the final line of the final verse, he simply says, "I don't blame you," cementing the reason why the person of interest left. Relationships can make you feel high and light as air. However, on the other end of the spectrum, can weigh on your heart as something as heavy as a Brinks truck. TikTok, from his latest project Nectar, is a great example of how Joji is not a one-trick artist, with trap-flavored tracks that still retains what kept his artistry great. Even before Joji was Joji, he released trap-influenced songs under his other online alias, Pink Guy. TikTok gives an intense trap longing. It's more of a personal song than it is ambiguous, as Joji has spent most of the last decade chasing internet fame. While doing that, it's important to note that not only has it probably cost him personal relationships as time keeps slipping away, however, it's proven that him chasing fame has affected his physical health as well. Joji in the chorus says, "Heavy like a Brinks truck, looking like I'm tip-top," knowing that he has achieved this, and even before again as his online persona Filthy Frank, going as far as inventing a subgenre on YouTube. However, with this, it's hard pursuing romantic relationships, and it causes internal turmoil in himself. As time keeps slipping away, girl don't start feeling away. This could have different meanings as we stress different words, along with mixing this part of the verse with different wordplay. Girl don't start feeling away, meaning don't start feeling the same way as me as I do you. Or girl don't start feeling away, asking the person of interest to not be distant from him, even though he himself is, because he's too busy chasing the vanity that is fame. One of Joji's musical influences, Lil Wayne, could very well show here, as he is widely considered to be the masterclass of wordplay, proving Joji's historical double-edged sword of pursuing two different things of interest, thus him loving the pain. When we dip our fingers in the glass of water, that is love. Is the glass half empty or half full? Do we allow the water to run down our fingers? Do we spill the glass out of rage, or do we wish the water to be something more tasteful? Joji explores all of this in his music again, with mostly somber tones and sometimes deceptively simple lyrics. Love, it can make us immature, conflicted, used, crazy, defensive. Love and romance is quite repulsive. There is something to be said about an artist who writes about it digestibly honest, for sometimes we cannot stomach the romance ourselves in its purest form. Garbage.